Hi, welcome back to Rated James, and today I want to talk about the recent findings about the Buga Sphere.
Almost speechless. The people that have been saying this is a hoax, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because carbon dated samples, the results are back, and it was sent to the University of Georgia. Now, for those of you that have no idea what the Buga Sphere is, it's this. It was flying around in Columbia back in March. It hit some power lines, it went down, and some men retrieved it. And there's been a lot of debate over whether this is real or fake, and this is added to a playlist so you can catch up. I know this is really small, but we're going to go over the results in bigger print. 12,560 years ago was what the resin from the Buga Sphere was dated. The report summary, we know it went to the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia. The client is an LLC that Stephen Greer has. The sample was received on September 12th. The date of the results was September 19th. The analyzed material was resin. The carbon in this resin last exchanged with the atmosphere 12,560 years ago. The margin of error is 30 years. So roughly dated to 10,600 BC, around the end of the last ice age. This confirms it is not a modern material. So there's that.
And so here I am on X, and this is Dr. Stephen Greer. Astounding results from carbon-14 dating of the resin from the Buga Sphere. Read the report and we'll go ahead and click that. So to dig into this issue, if you don't know who Stephen Greer is, he is a famous, doctor who talks a lot about aliens, alien technology, strange archaeology. He's always trying to come up with the next big thing, the next big discovery. And so I'm naturally suspicious, because that is how he makes his living. He doesn't make his living unless he, comes out with these big, major discoveries that goes against the grain of archaeology and science overall. Astounding report about the resin in the Buga Sphere. The University of Georgia Center for Applied Isotope Studies dated the resin at about 12,560 years old, and he keeps, raising that flag. Stay tuned for more information from Dr. Greer. We just got these results on September 19th, so just a few days ago. And people are just talking about this, It's all over X and other social media sites. The first thing that stands out, is the fact that it says serious technology. Now, I'm a grammar phobe, so, that's spelled wrong, okay? Advanced Research LLC. And then, like it says here, enclosed, please find the results of something C. Analysis for the foraminifer samples received on September 12th, 2025. That's very confusing, isn't it? No, foraminifera are not typically found in ancient resins like amber. They are primarily marine organisms, so their fossils are almost always found in marine sediments and rocks. Foraminifera are single-celled marine organisms that create shells or tests from calcium carbonate. All right? When they die, their shells sink to the seafloor and become part of the sediment. Over millions of years, these layers of sediment are compacted into rock, preserving the foraminifera as microfossils. Okay? And we're dealing with the plant resin. We're not dealing with amber resin, but, resin traps insects, spiders, and other small organisms that live in or near forests. Okay? Now, the thing about this resin is they just keep saying it's a plant resin, but the more you dig into types of resins, there's numerous types of resins from different plants. All they do is give us a general statement, which seems weird to me, of a generalized plant resin, okay? Well, there is no record of the oldest plant resin dated specifically by carbon-14. The oldest known amber was discovered in Illinois coal and dates to 320 million years old, okay? Age difference. Because the oldest amber is 320 million years old, other geological and radiometric dating methods are used to determine its age. A 12,500-year-old plant resin would be classified as copal, which is a subfossil resin that is still in the process of fossilization. The amber, 12,500-year age, places it in the late Pleistocene epoch, a time that saw the end of the last ice age and the emergence of human modern cultures. All right. Okay, so we're looking at the Buga Sphere here in this picture. And from what I understand, if you look at the center of it, you see these, what looks like a microchip. In our minds, we see microchip. In the ancient world, they could have seen something with a design like that, We see microchips, though. Is if you look, see those little kind of black things? They say that that is the resin that they picked up. But it's really that word, foraminifera. What is that even doing on this document? We went over what that is, and they misspelled it on top of it. And we have a lot of these other, kind of scientific, word statements to go along with it, but that is very suspicious. Why are they using that in a plant resin? I mean, and the only way that stuff would be on the plant resin is if you had a plant resin and you rolled, the plant resin, say the sphere that has a little bit of plant resin on it in certain spots, you rolled over some, however you say it, foraminifera, these little tiny seashells, that they can carbon date. And the fact that we don't really even have an idea of what type of plant resin this is, they don't put that in there at all. And that's just it. So you always want to think about these guys like Stephen Greer, these kind of, career doctors or scientists, if you want to call them that, researchers that always focus on these type of things because they always want to hit a home run. And it appears to me that they will do anything to hit a home run.